Yes.
So this was used at one school. The study was conducted at one school, and the finding was that it helped improve reading scores at that one school.
I see.
So this article is focusing on the benefit of the program.
At one school.
Correct, in one particular school.
Are we sure that it will be practiced and be successful in the rest of the schools in this country, for another school?
I expect this to be beneficial to the group of students at Maple Street School who are going to take advantage of it.
Okay.
I'm confident that it will be helpful.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call the motion to a vote by a show of hands. All in favor of the approval? And it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 5.2 is the 6-year capital plan. Mr. Carl?
Through the Chair, in your board packet is our updated 6-year capital expenditure plan. I would like to acknowledge the work of the superintendent, the Director of Public Works, and our school supervisors, facilities and special projects, Mr. Peluso, who has joined us this evening to answer any technical questions. Also, this plan has gone through the facilities committee, and so their input is in this plan as well before you. Before we dive into the details, we are scheduled to present this plan as part of our budget presentation on Thursday. It's a second part of the presentation. So just to give the highlights, if you look at the plan, we do have some priority projects that we have identified in the plan. Obviously, a lot of the work that we want to do in this plan is going to be budget driven, and considering at this point that our primary funding source for many of these projects is our capital and non-recurring educational fund, which currently has a balance of about $145,000 and change. That would limit us to go beyond one or two of these projects. But just by looking at a high-level view for some of the priorities, start with the high school, page 1 of 3. Resolving the library air return system is one of our top priorities for the upcoming fiscal year. Enhancing the entrance for security, obviously that's important in light of current events. If we turn to the next page, on page 2, under Vernon Center Middle School, repairing, replacing the intercom system, estimated cost is about $21,000, again security related, making this one of our priorities for the school facility. Under Northeast School, again the enhancement of these front entrance for security purposes, estimated cost for this as well as the other schools that we're looking to do this work is about $100,000 per school. And then we move along to Skinner Road School, page 3. And again, the enhancement for security for the front entrance, about $100,000. The last priority for the next fiscal year is completing the boiler room project in the central office building with an estimated cost of about $90,000.
Thank you. Mr. Carl, is there any questions or discussion? There is a proposed motion associated with Mr. Percy.
I'd like to make a motion the Vernon Board of Education approve the plan as presented.
I have a motion to approve the plan.
I second it.
Mr. Buttar is seconding the motion. Is there discussion on the motion? Ms. Arndt.
Silly question, Mr. Carl. When I add up everything in 13-14, it's way beyond the $145,000.
Yes.
What's the plan?
Through the chair, good question. Obviously, we're looking for other funding to try to support some of the security enhancements. There's some talk from the state that there would be funds put in that direction. There may be some local funds that we potentially could be able to access as well, but nothing has been set in stone at this point. There's no programs for application, but we'll be looking, and that would be our plan at this point.
Yeah, that's a good observation because our capital budget that we submitted to the town was zero. We did not have a capital budget. Other discussion? Ms. Arndt.
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but if it's, I don't know, real quick, 300 something, close to $400,000, we're just approving this in concept, like we'd like to have these things happen, and
that is correct.
we're required to put together a
Right.
capital plan.
Right.
This satisfies the requirements. One of the things
But
is you don't have to
happens.
fund the capital plan, but you have to have the plan. And
Okay.
that's what this is. I know
It's
it
pretty
sounds a little bit squishy there, but any other discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second on item 5.2, the approval of the capital plan. Which ask for a show of hands. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ms. Arn is, no, sorry. Thank you. Motion does carry. Item 5.3. The 2013-2014 district calendar. Prior to taking this item up, I'm going to ask that we untable. We had tabled the motion on action on the calendar at our last meeting. So as a point of order, we have to untable before we can take action. Mr. Percy?
I move to untable the discussion of the Vernon Board of Education's school calendar for 2013-14.
I have a motion to untable. Ms. Fisher? I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to untable? Seeing none, I'm going to call for a vote by show of hands. All in favor of untabling? And that's unanimous. Okay, now we can take item 5.3. We do have a proposed motion, and then we can get into some discussion. Ms. Fisher?
I move that the Vernon Board of Education approve the 2013-14 school calendar as presented.
I have a motion to approve as presented. Ms. Bush?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the calendar as presented. Is there discussion on the motion? Ms. Sun?
Just wondering how many professional development hours the board is required to provide?
Thank you. The board is required to provide 18 hours annually, and they don't have to be during the school day.
Ms. Sun, you still have the floor.
How many hours are credited on a half day?
For the teachers or the students? I'm sorry.
The-
Generally, it's a
toward
4-2
professional
split.
development.
Teachers get 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah. Students are here for just about 4 hours.
You still have the floor, Ms.
I'm
Sun.
sorry, and on full, like on, in
6.
August, 6 hours?
6 hours.
Can I ask a follow-up?
You still have the floor.
There are a lot of hours beyond 18.
Absolutely.
May I ask why?
Yes. Ongoing professional development is how teachers grow, change their practice, improve their practice, and how students' learning increases and improves. So there's truly a direct correlation as you increase, that I say all the time, the one thing that makes the biggest difference in a child's education is a highly effective teacher. And we get them by growing teachers and allowing them opportunities to learn. And adults learn in a cyclical fashion, as we all do. You learn a little something, you try it out, you learn some more, you just try it, just ongoing and ongoing. So just to do something at the beginning of the year and not be able to revisit that learning with your colleagues, explore and to have new learning, it's not an effective way to learn for teachers.
You still have the floor.
Yeah. 36 hours is twice the contract, but I can't help but think that that's 36 hours of non-instruction time as well. You've been telling us for a long time that professional development makes a big difference, but I think instruction time in the classroom makes a big difference as well. It just seems like a lot of hours with non-instruction time.
Other discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call the motion to a vote by a show of hands. All in favor of the motion to approve the 2013-14 calendar as presented by a show of hands? And those opposed? I show one opposed. And the motion does carry.